Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. We choose to go to the moon.
All right, everyone, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This is episode 84, 0x84, our 133rd episode. Reminder, nothing you hear here is going to be financial advice. And let's get straight into the updates. So first up is number go up. This week it is inflation, 7.5%. And it's probably very conservatively reported, right? They fudge those numbers a lot, and they change the way that they measure that stuff all the time whenever they need to. So it's probably a lot higher than 7.5%, which means a lot of things. I think it's good for crypto, but you know, others don't, but I think they're wrong. Let's see here. Next, we're going to go through a couple of Dragonchain updates. Some of them are kind of small. Some of them are just updates of status, but do watch for an announcement of the smart ballots integration and partnership with Den.social and related to DAOs. Watch for that because it will probably, the announcement, the PR, the information will probably be published after we go live with the Sitewide Governance on Den to make sure everything's running smooth and to get the branding right and everything else. So watch for that, hopefully in the next week or so. And next update is that the new interchain, still unannounced what interchain, is in active development. We're making great progress. Follow Rainmaker for information related. That's kind of how it popped up into everyone's mind with Dragonchain, that we were doing that at all. They are using our technology and our patents. They're licensed to connect to a lot of other chains to do token transfers and things like that. But that does not mean we'll interchain with all of those chains if it doesn't make sense. We might not, who knows? Next update, we're working with SADA. Everybody knows this, to add services and capabilities to Google Cloud Platform for our customers. We are mostly, we're you know, still in the processes, early process there for getting things started, but we are also waiting on other development work, other projects to complete before we move everything into that. And it will generally allow us to plug in some things that we've looked at for a while to provide for services that we could better deploy via Google, specifically things that might be related to Google Cloud use of blockchain. So pretty cool stuff, and really great group. It's going to be fun doing a lot of that. The next update just released, and if you go to Den, the Dragonchain layer, you can see that we have moved the company to Wyoming. Wyoming is a really great fit for Dragonchain, as you know. It's probably pretty obvious to everybody that we're in line with the way that they are moving their state and basically trying to codify a lot of things that other states and even the federal government have not quite really put any effort to grasp. It's a very forward-looking vision that they have, that they've effectively improved the corporate registration that other states have it's an interesting competition between states, and they latched on to crypto, and they launched the ability to formally and legally register a DAO and to do various other very interesting features if you're a business. So we've moved the company there. And we only have a few employees left in Washington, and hopefully soon I'll be moving too. So anyway, let's see here. Next update, we're going to move to Den.social, and the February 2022 LCP results are in. There were 23 new proposals this month, and there is only one winner this month. The winner is the Metaverse layer, with 7.1 million lore committed. Therefore, 7.1 million lot will be created. I was actually hoping that we would have a second one created as well, because if someone had if a different layer had more unique. But I think we've pretty much proven that that with a horse race, that everybody will try to throw something into the one that's in the lead. So we will have a proposal once Sitewide Governance comes up that will address some of that modeling, so that we can maybe get a couple of layers created at least each month. So there were 70 unique voters. Let's see here. Daily results Dragon, I think that's right, proposed to the layer on November 3rd of 2021. So it's been a few months. That's a pretty quick window. And that user, that denizen, will receive 10,000 lot paid for with Den's lore. Den also committed 10,000 lore and will receive 10,000 lot to that winning layer for future giveaways and promotions. We're probably going to use the governance system to help us decide how we're going to do that. Maybe we use Rainmaker to give some of those away. Maybe we do something else. So we'll figure that out. And as a reminder, if you did commit lore to this new layer, Metaverse, that you will receive the lot 1-to-1. That every lore that you put in will be locked in, and will create a lot that you will receive in your account directly without doing anything at all. And check once we say it's launched, and you'll see in there, and you'll I think you'll have to subscribe to the layer and stuff, but it'll show up in your wallet. All lot is connected to that lore, and will receive layer rewards in Matter. You do not have to export your lot to Ethereum. If you can, and it's fully capable of doing it, we actually turned it the self-service interface, because people were thinking that they had to export the lot in order to use it, in order to stake it or receive rewards, and they were spending high Ethereum fees. And so we're probably going to improve the interface so it explains that better in time, and then we'll turn it back on. But in the meantime, you can email support at Den.social, or you can otherwise contact the team, even if it's in Den support, with a post, and we will unlock your account or make it so that you can export your lot if you definitely want to send it out to Ethereum for whatever reason. Let's see here. Last thing about the LCP, there is an option to create new layers that did not win for an amount of Matter, starting at 200 Matter for the first runner-up. The top 5 runners-up can create the layer by spending this Matter fee. So it's between 200 and 1,000 Matter. And you have to have committed lore during the LCP, and anyone who wants to create a runner-up layer must fill out the form and tip the Matter by this Sunday, following the results of the announcement. So do that if you want to create one of those number 2 through number 6, and we'll get that created next week along with the Metaverse layer. Next update for Den.social is about the DENDAO. So Sitewide Governance is expected in the next couple of days to be released. We're hoping that it goes out today. As long as all of the deployment works and all the bugs are worked out and everything's smooth. And you should see, watch for them after we announce it. We'll announce it on the Den layer and Twitter and everywhere else. But you should see a few governance issues coming out shortly. as soon as it's launched. That would include things like the modification I talked about for the LCP on making it so that maybe the top 2 by unique voter count will be created, so that we're more likely to not have the horse race where everybody has to commit everything to the top. And then also to do feature development prioritization. That's going to be super interesting. There's already a post out there to discuss it, and some of you gave some amazing ideas that were unique that I hadn't even thought about including. And then there were some that I'd just forgotten to include. And so we're going to try to collapse them and get the the top 13, and then we will from there post that, and then the entire site, all the denizens will get to decide which features to work on next. And another one is a lot of you are interested in this, the 2021 lore farming balance allocation, that there was 2/3 of the lore that was committed to the 2021 farming rewards was not spent. And on top of that, I think even half of that remaining was never sent out because we didn't have the liquidity pools, which were a significant portion of the allocated lore, were not available yet. So they're available now. We're going to be turning that on at some point in the near future. Hopefully everything is there in place. We have to look at what's necessary to build, but that should be soon. And we need to decide, the site-wide governance, all of you, all the denizens need to decide, do we put all of that lore in future years? Do we put some of it this year, some of it in future years? Do we put all of it this year? So we get to decide. And let's see here. Tune in tomorrow for Coffee with Den at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And the Den governance call is now weekly, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. See the post in the DENDAO layer. We moved all governance stuff over to the DENDAO layer, by the way. So look there for the agenda and a link to join live. You're welcome to join to cover anything related to Den. Now, let's move to the World Blockchain Roundtable Updates. Episode 39 will be on Thursday. The topic is mining. Go leave a question or topic on the mining. Vote on others' questions and topics so that we get the right things available to answer. The shows have been getting really good lately. Really good content, really good, really amazing questions. Some of them really from different angles. So that's what it's supposed to be. It's great. Also, watch and share last week's episode, because it has currently over 1,700 views, and the more views it gets, its first week, the more lot all the participants will get. Make sure you leave your ideas for themes for March episodes also, that there will be a vote posted tomorrow on Wednesday that will let all of the roundtable lot holders decide what the March episodes will be looking like. So that's it for all the updates. 3-question AMA right after this. Rainmaker, pretty cool stuff coming there. I don't know if their timeline, but follow them on Twitter and everywhere. First question here. I'm going to expand this so I can read it better. Nguma, we know that you will not say names, but could you make a numerical list of current and potential clients according to the stage of development of Dragonchain, not including products such as Den and Eternal? For example, active clients who currently execute transactions on the Dragonchain blockchain, number of clients in testing phase, executing transactions in L1 or test environment, number of companies, entities confirmed in the next 6 months they will start testing on the platform, and forecast of active clients at the end of 12. How many questions is this in Guma? And did you translate this? Did you write this? This sounds like it's very well written in English, that maybe it would be first native language English. It doesn't look like it was translated, especially with the formatting, except for maybe that 4. There's a space after the dash with the I don't know. Anyway, I would say, gosh, I mean, we have some systems that are partnerships that are active clients, of course. So, I mean, I would include them in the list because we do have customers there. But maybe not. I don't know. And I don't even know the number because the sales guys have a lot more brewing than I know about. And they have a lot of projects that I can't, keep up on that are, with very notable groups or individuals. So I'm not going to put a number on it, but it's definitely more than I can count on my fingers. So, but there are some that I would put a lower chance of closing, and there are some that we have closed. There are some that we're just waiting on them to get their funding released. There are some that the ones that I know about, and there are some that we've just started that are bringing us into really big enterprises, and that they have positioning that should help us. So I don't know. That's probably the best I can do without naming names as well. And you probably won't like that, but it's without I don't count stuff like that. I just know in my head, and I can look at the whatever you call the interface for how we store all of our current leads and developing projects and closed projects with a known calendar on them. There are a couple that are lagging. I don't know if it's because of COVID or if it's because of end of year stuff that we're hoping they're going to turn on pretty soon, or at least by spring. And there are a couple of really exciting projects, at least really are, how do I say this, super interesting to the team and everybody involved, that are going to remain hush hush until we're ready to release. And bear with it. It'll be all right. Just be patient. Don't worry about it. Y'all weird. Is it possible for infosec security professionals to leverage Dragonchain's quantum safe capabilities? Yes. If so, can you give a hypothetical example of this in the real world? So there are various reasons that people, want to use quantum. Usually it's for, high security applications, and whether it's financial applications, obvious. It can also be things like nation state, or it could be intel applications, or it could be for intellectual property reasons that I have something that I'm holding that is very important, and I don't want it to be sitting on a server somewhere in a way that somebody could just grab it, plain text. So I see things very structurally. So I like to air gap things when you're talking about security. And yet at the same time, even when air gapped, or even when stored in some way that is not accessible to the operational system, some of that data might need to sit in the cloud, or might need to sit in a data warehouse somewhere that you never know physically. Physical security is always a thing. So one thing I guess as an example, there are super interesting things that you can do, because we can use the combination of the quantum safe encryption or signing along with the controlled decentralization, that you can have your backup and a disaster recovery where it is encrypted, and you can have you can decentralize the data itself, or at least the proof of the data, in a way that can help you protect your logs, so you can detect and signal and prove even internal attacks where you have an employee that has gone rogue or is doing something they shouldn't be doing, that you can find things that you otherwise would not be able to. You can help to avoid or have fraud prevention systems in place that use the decentralized proof to keep attackers from wiping their tracks, right? That if you decentralize your logging system, that helps. There's some other really neat things that are related to that, and we haven't quite seen all the possibilities yet. I mean, this combination is very unique. So it's kind of like in the early blockchain world that some ideas are just ideas at this time, but we've seen it in practice with a couple of systems already, and it's very interesting. And I've spoken to Dr. Al about a couple of different things that I would like to see that they weren't thinking about, but could be very applicable for that technology in combination with blockchain. And I'm not going to disclose any of that because it could be really crazy, interesting stuff that nobody else is doing. But the examples are, primarily for that information at rest, information in transit between blockchains or between systems, that you can prevent anyone. It's just a pretty radical increase in encryption power, along with a lot of other neat things that Dr. Al has put in place. So like compression and stuff. Hopefully that was a good answer. Third question, Jacob Wayne. Can you tell us the origins of the name Super Happy Dragon Lucky? I've always thought it was a neat collection of words. Store, by the way, you can get Super Happy Dragon Lucky merch now. So if you go to dragonchain.store, that's all there. Maybe we should do giveaways or something there. But it's interesting. I was sitting, this would probably have been around 2010 or 2011. I was sitting in a group in Eastern United States, a group that we tended to do a lot of really cool, you could call it R&D, but it was kind of like an engineering group where we would try to figure out how to apply new technology to our current customers. And we did a lot of work with mobile, geospatial. We did a lot of work with early tech, and really explored how to best put it in place. In fact, that's how I got into Bitcoin, because one of those guys brought in the Satoshi white paper in 2010, and we just started doing all types of crazy stuff with it. So in the midst of all of that, we were going to, and there were some really, really cool ideas that we were going to put in place, and we never got funding for them, to do gaming, some really interesting gaming systems. In fact, pre-blockchain, a couple of things that would have needed a marketplace. And one of the reasons we really couldn't get very far with it is because there wasn't this thing called blockchain yet. It would have probably really helped us get further. Well, I wanted to name the company something that was a little odd, and it was really funny. At some point, someone posted some, I can't remember where the content came from, but that the name LG was stood for Lucky Gold Star. And I might be totally wrong, but it was such an absurd, funny thing that I just threw out Super Happy Dragon Lucky, and it kind of stuck. And we were going to call the gaming company that. And in fact, at one point, if I remember correctly, I had all 16 combinations of the domain name, so that if you go to the site, it would randomly go to a different ordering of that name. But we dropped that later, and I published at Disney when I put out the Dragonchain white paper. I was told to go ahead and publish it before they decided, the day that they had the gavel and decided whether we were approved to open source release or not. That we were told, go ahead and publish it publicly, personally. And so I published it under a copyright. So it's all copyright Super Happy Dragon Lucky, which it was just funny because it was, basically sole proprietorship, me, and we just used it since then. So it is trademarked by either Dragonchain Inc. or the Dragon Company. So it is a trademarked name, but that's the story. So it's pretty cool. It's memorable. I wanted to call open source money that. I wanted also to have a death metal intro, and none of that. They didn't let me do any of that. They also didn't let us play the Kennedy ad, which I always thought was weird. It's like it's a freaking it's a quote from the president of the United States at the time, and they wouldn't let us play it. It's bizarre. Anyway, so that's the story. So those are the three. You all get one lot, and let's see here. We will do a merch update. There is new World Blockchain Roundtable merch. So I have one here. And I actually have the shirt too, I think. I think I got it. And I did also get my Super Happy Dragon Lucky merch in finally. I kept forgetting to order it. I even have the Mars one and a couple others. So go ahead and go buy some of that. There is a special on the Dragon Energy Equals Love because it's Valentine's Day week. Go Dragon-Love-2022 to get 20% off until the end of the month. And in closing, watch us again next Tuesday, same time. Watch the World Blockchain Roundtable this Thursday. That's going to be a pretty good show, I think. Mining. It's at least super interesting to me now. And follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Twitter, LinkedIn, and everywhere else. Dan especially. And like, comment, and share the show. Thanks so much. Bye.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.